Hi, I'm Dr. Polly Watson with Hormone Wellness MD. Today we're going to talk about the importance of restoring balance in the adrenal system or the stress response before healing the rest of the hormonal system. Did you know that many of your hormones derive from a cholesterol molecule? This cholesterol molecule can go down one pathway and develop cortisol or stress hormone, or it can go down another pathway and make sex steroids like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Maybe you can think back to a time in your life when things were a little intense. Maybe you were studying for exams when you were younger, or ended a really important relationship, or were meeting an important deadline at work. And during that time, maybe your period went away and you missed a cycle, or you may have had a lot of unexpected breakthrough bleeding. What's happening in this situation is something called the cortisol steal or the pregnenolone steal. If someone's system is making a lot of stress hormone, it has less building blocks left over for reproductive hormones. So estrogen and progesterone levels fall, and that can precipitate bleeding. They can fall so low that the uterine lining isn't even able to be generated, and there's no period at all. At Hormone Wellness MD, we understand the cortisol steal very clearly, and we can help work with you to determine where to begin and if your adrenal system is affecting the rest of your reproductive hormones. In conventional laboratory testing, oftentimes cortisol testing isn't very helpful or clear. Sometimes we can get a 24-hour urine cortisol, but that doesn't tell us anything about the course of the cortisol over the day. We can get salivary cortisol testing, which can measure the cortisol at different points of the day, and that can be helpful. But saliva testing can be misleading if the first morning specimen isn't done just within 30 minutes of wakening. There's a newer option called the Dutch test, which looks at dried urine hormone metabolites. We can collect these 4 times a day so we can get the pattern of cortisol across the day, but we can also look at cortisol metabolites, which can really shed some more light on the system. You know, we talk about cortisol sometimes like it's a bad thing, but cortisol or stress hormone really helps us to survive adversity. Think about if you were facing a challenge. Maybe we can imagine that we were being chased by a predator, like a tiger. If our cortisol levels go up, it shunts the blood away from our intestines, so it goes out to our skeletal muscle, our blood pressure goes up, our pulse quickens, and we are ready to run. So high cortisol in that sense helps us escape the tiger, run faster, survive adversity. In an ideal situation, we would outrun the tiger, come home, and celebrate with our friends and family. Our stress hormone levels would go up, we would beat the tiger, we would come home and celebrate our victory. The problem comes in when the stress is chronic and we don't have complete resolution of the stressor, and we remain at this high chronic level of cortisol. After a while, the body says, this isn't healthy to stay like this, and tones down the response. So at different stages of cortisol imbalance, we can see people being very agitated in the beginning and then later becoming depressed, maybe extreme fatigue and having salt cravings. So at Hormone Wellness MD, we're interested in working with you and learning about the whole picture, evaluating your adrenal system in the context of your reproductive hormones so that we can make holistic decisions that address the whole system as one. Over the next few days, we'll give you some actionable tips that you can do to start restoring your stress response. Thanks for watching.